people look at you, they stare. They all stare. They point at you. They shout things. They make you feel different. It's fantastic.
To the dark, hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are.
I'm asking you, athletes, to show the world what it looks like to lead from the heart. Franny, do you have a message for all the athletes?
I love you.
Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
I just want to make my family proud.
I feel so happy to be able to compete with a group of guys that I love.
They said I would never walk, jump, or run. I just proved them all wrong.
You did good. Thank you. You as well.
We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. Yeah, that's what we've become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For your glory.
No matter what your disability is, you can compete, and if you train as hard as you have, you can win gold just like I did.
I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Good morning. I am Sean Lindsay and I'm a Special Olympics Texas athlete. I want to thank you for joining us today for our virtual Breakfast with Champions. This is an opportunity to hear the stories about some of our athletes and their families and supporters, and why Special Olympics is so important to us. I hope you enjoy our presentation, and please remember to donate if you can. We deeply appreciate your support.
Thank you, Sean. Always great seeing you. I'm sure you're tearing up any golf course that you step foot on. I got the pleasure of knowing Sean and his family a few years ago, and he's great. They're great. Just a wonderful group. Good morning, everybody. Special Olympics athletes, parents, and special guests. Welcome to the virtual Breakfast of Champions. COVID-19 has changed things a little bit. We'll get into some of those details in a few minutes. But for now, I'm your host, Daniel Gotera of KHOU 11 Sports. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live event where we get to showcase some of the athletes and their parents and why this organization means so much to people. We're ready to celebrate all these wonderful athletes, and like I mentioned, usually we have a huge hall full of people. These Breakfast of Champions that I've emceed before are just wonderful. We have the procession of the athletes coming through. Law enforcement officials are there. National anthem is played. Everybody's there early, ready to hear these amazing stories of athletes. But as you all know at home, as you've lived through this, COVID-19 has changed everything. So why not bring these awesome stories to you virtually on the computer so you can better understand the importance of why Special Olympics means so much and the importance of acceptance, inclusion, and respect for all. You'll learn how Special Olympics Texas has positively impacted their lives for the better. It really is an amazing thing to watch. I've been involved with this organization a little bit through the last 3 or 4 years, and I get inspired every single time I come through. When you finish this program, you'll understand the true meaning of Heart of a Champion. So this is a fundraising event after all. Not only will you hear good stories, but throughout this broadcast, you'll be prompted to make a donation if you can. COVID-19 has impacted the fundraising efforts of Special Olympics, like so many other organizations, really, over the last 6 or 7 months. The Special Olympics, we're trying to reach out to you guys at home to really understand why your support and your help means so much to this group. But first, we're going to start with a very special address from a man who's making some big changes here in Texas.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tim Martin, CEO and President of Special Olympics Texas, and I want to welcome you to the Houston Breakfast with Champions. Thank you so much for being here. You know, these great events don't happen at Special Olympics without sponsors, so I want to take a moment to recognize our Breakfast with Champions sponsors for today. Also, there's a special group down here in East Texas in the Houston area that works so hard to make sure our athletes have everything they need throughout the year. Our local resource board. So please take a moment to recognize and look at and possibly become a member of the Houston Resource Board. You know, these times have been very unique for us at Special Olympics Texas. But in a lot of ways, if you look at it, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. The isolation we felt being at home, the lack of access to family members and friends, the inability to just freely go and do what we want, that is missing. But you know what? If you really look at it, in so many cases, you're living the lives of so many of the athletes at Special Olympics Texas. It's an opportunity for you to understand and empathize with them and to make sure you understand that this is a powerful moment when you don't have the chance to share your greatnesses, the talents that you can utilize to change society, a voice to be heard. These are great opportunities for you to realize it's a chance for us to move forward. With that, at Special Olympics, we've worked really hard in these tough times to get to those points. Over the last 2 years, we've really struggled to change this organization and put it in a new direction of inclusion, health, and life-changing experiences for our athletes. And as we drive forward with that mission, we want to make sure that you're all aboard to be a part of that. So let me talk to you a little bit about the story. A lot of you heard this my first year here. Met an athlete in high school by getting in trouble and sentenced to Special Olympics. I certainly felt like I was too good to be there. I was better than all of those athletes. I was better than any individual in that room. And then I realized I wasn't even close. Those individuals made sure I felt cherished. They made sure that they honored me every time I walked in with a smile. They made sure I never went unrecognized. They had the power to change the human spirit. And that's what Diana, who was the individual I was paired up with, did for me, long before there was a label called Unified Sports. But I will tell you, folks, we have over 50,000 amazing individuals that can change your life if you open your life to them and allow them to come through those doors. Then we also had some difficult moments where we had a parent tell me one time, as we had a dance team performing on stage at opening ceremonies, as she pointed at our athletes and said, "Those people should not have to see things like this." Those people. What is those people? Those people is an easy barrier to put ourselves between someone else, to either label them different, label them less, label them not as important. That won't happen at Special Olympics Texas. So we came up with a motto at that point. We're all one of those people. Get over it, play unified. Unified is a way for us to change the world through inclusion. What is unified? It is the backbone of Special Olympics. It is an opportunity for those with and without intellectual disabilities, or as we prefer to call them, different abilities at Special Olympics, to drive forward, build those relationships, build those social opportunities, life-changing opportunities like employment, but also health and sport and drama and art. A way to make sure that we have a stage to reveal the greatness that lies in every human being. Unified is an amazing program. We have some great partners and amazing growth to talk about in that area as well. The UIL, the world's largest interscholastic program, has officially said we want to be involved with Special Olympics. And vice versa, we said of course we do as well. And we anticipate 200% growth over the next 4 years. That's 100,000 more athletes coming into our movement. A chance for us to be there and support so many new lives. But also, when you just think about athletes coming into our movement, that's 100,000 partners as well. More volunteers, more families. Special Olympics, we truly are unified. Also, health. Did you realize Special Olympics is the world's largest provider of health services to individuals with intellectual disabilities? But it's not just screenings anymore, folks. In the last 2 years, we've grown to do preventative health, healthy lifestyles, follow-up exams, and follow-up care at no charge to our athletes through our great networks. We continue to push that forward, and we need your support as we do that. But most importantly, we want everybody to realize you can be involved at Special Olympics, you can be unified, and we need you to be involved. But more than involvement, folks, during these times, this has been the leanest time in Special Olympics history, not just in Special Olympics Texas, but throughout the world. We have incredible work being done. We've completely revamped our programming to both be in person and virtual, but we need your support. Today, please give to Special Olympics Texas, and in return, we guarantee to you, we will deliver amazing programs to our athletes, volunteers, families, and all of those that choose to be a part of this great inclusive movement at Special Olympics Texas.
Thank you very much, Tim. I've had the pleasure of meeting you several times, and I got to say, you and your team doing amazing work at the state level that trickles down all the way to the local affiliates. I've been impressed every time I hear you speak, and that was no exception. Thank you very much, Tim. So before we get to some of those stories that I teased a little earlier that are going to leave an impact on you, no doubt, I want to call your attention to the Chiron down at the bottom of the screen there that you see, kind of a super, that's TV lingo, Chiron supers. You see them on major newscasts all the time. Take a look at it, because right now I want you to understand what we're going to be doing here during this presentation, this Facebook Live presentation. This is how you can help deliver world-class quality sports, social engagement programs that you're going to be hearing about this entire time. There's going to be a Donate Now button right there. And Special Olympics Texas, I got to tell you, is one of the strongest rated charity organizations in the nation. So, you know, there's always this, not a fear, there's doubt. Okay, well, I'm donating something online. Look, there's nothing to worry about here. If you're going to donate some money, help these athletes, these parents, these hardworking people behind the scenes that make all this possible, you go ahead and hit that Donate Now button, and that money is going to be put to good use. I promise you that. I've seen it for now 3 or 4 years, and I'm just impressed every single time I do that. So we encourage you to give whatever you can. Tell your friends, tell family, go on social media, spread this word around, because this is what we need to help these folks out, because they're doing some great work. All right, so without further ado, let's talk to our first Special Olympics family, David, Allison, and Matt Mantor, here joining us for this special event. Guys, how are you? And welcome.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to be here. Thank you, Daniel.
So, I guess, how have you guys been holding up? Let's start there. Maybe let's start with this question. How have you guys been holding up over the last 4 or 5 months, the uncertainty that we've all faced? Dad, we can start with you, and we'll kind of go down the line.
Well, for me, I work at Exxon, and we've been open for quite a while, so I'm still going into work about 3 days a week, spending a little bit too much time at home for Allison, but I think that's good practice for ultimate retirement, so it's sort of a test for us, but it's working out pretty well. We've been spending a lot of time together.
And Matt, you have been doing a lot of stuff with Special Olympics connected online, right?
Yes.
How have you liked doing some of that virtual stuff, staying in touch with some of your friends in Special Olympics?
Great.
It's been nice, right? What do you like about that so much?
The workouts.
The workouts? What kind of workouts have you been doing?
Arm workouts.
Arm workouts? Well, whatever the daily workout is, they've been all different, haven't they?
I play tennis, golf, and volleyball.
Which one's your favorite?
Tennis and golf.
Okay. I hear you're a pretty good announcer in golf. Do you want to give us a little bit of a tease in your announcing capabilities in golf?
Yes.
Go for it. I'm ready. I'm ready to hear it.
On the tee from Dallas, Texas, Jordan Spieth.
I think he's ready for the British Open, honestly. I think he's ready to go.
Do Rory real quick.
On the tee from Northern Ireland, Rory McIlroy.
See? We got to call those folks up when all this COVID stuff's gone. We need to call them up. You need to head over there. Dad, you're on the board of Special Olympics Texas. I mean, obviously this organization means a lot to you. Can you really encompass it, put it into words, what this group means to your family?
Yeah, it might take a second, but I think for us as a family, and particularly as parents, having a place for Matt to go and participate without judgment, to be included, to belong to somewhere in an organization is really important to us. And particularly where it's so inspirational, the atmosphere is inspirational, it's loving, it's caring, it's a blessing to have that. And then in terms from the board's perspective, I think it's exciting that what we're doing recently and trying to bring that inclusive model and bring it into our high schools and college settings through that Unified Champion School program. Really exciting stuff, because one of the things that we're trying to transform is not only are they included, but they actually have the ability to influence other people, high school kids and college kids. And one thing I wanted to mention, if I could, is I heard a speech, and Allison was with me at the time, a speech by one of our athlete representative. His name is Bruce. He's a mid-30s guy, a great representative of the board, and he gave a speech to a huge group. And Daniel, you may have been there.
Yeah, I think so. I think I know which one.
Huge group.
Yeah, it was a great speech.
Potential sponsors, and his point was, in this world that we live in of strife and politics and anger and racial issues and all that stuff, he said, he looked at the crowd and he said, "We are what's good about this world." He's talking about the Special Olympics kid. We're loyal, we're honest, we're fun to be around, we don't judge people.
What's the biggest change over the years that you've seen in your son because of it? Mom, we'll start with you.
Well, I'd say just a real sense of community. I mean, he has friends. We have Zoom. His team. They're, most of them are on a team of some sort, and they have their friends. And you go to any event, and they all remember each other from the last time, and they're all running around hugging each other. And it just, Matt loves competition. He wants to make everything at our house competition. So it's been nice to have a real competition, but mostly just the community that he has, because it's hard for them to have a community, and Special Olympics really gives them that.
Well, Matt, talk about the competitions at the house. What you like having competitions? What do you like to compete in?
Golf.
Golf at the house?
Well,
boy, that would be something.
Every time we're going to go play golf, what do you do?
A golf competition.
Well, you make what? You make
scorecards.
Make scorecards for us.
You
It's
do.
the Matt Mantor, U.S. Open Family Championship.
Yeah, I think thus far we've had about 50 different family competitions in golf. Always starting with Matt Mantor's so-and-so.
Matt, do you always win? You could say yes. It's okay.
Yes.
You don't always win.
No.
No. You won last weekend, though. Oh yeah, we had Dad's birthday golf championship last weekend.
Was it Matt Mantor's dad's birthday golf championship?
Probably.
And me and my dad won.
That's right. We took him down.
You took us down.
With Special Olympics, you've gotten to travel too, right?
Yes.
So tell me some of the places that you've been.
Seattle, Nashville,
Yep.
and Aggieland. Hook 'em.
Oh, did you hear that, guys? Did you hear that? Oh man, he pulled a fast one right there. Hook 'em, right? You're a big Texas guy.
Yes.
So what do you show Hook 'em all the time in Aggieland or what?
Yes.
Yeah?
You did?
No.
No, you don't. You don't. Okay, I was
You
gonna
probably do that. But
I played once with my dad, but I fired him, so now he's my caddy.
Oh man, he's harsh. This is
we got him on they played, the first time they played golf, they played Unified, which is like an alternate shot. And David hit one like on the side of the sand trap, like you were totally, no way to balance. And from that point on, Matt was like, I'm playing by myself.
That was it. That was the last try.
Two holes to fire. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been great, and best of luck to you guys. We'll see you on the golf course. Hopefully, if I ever get to play against you, though, don't fire me. Please don't fire me. I don't want to sound like your dad. Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll be right back with some more.
Good morning. My name is Adam San Miguel, and I have been a Special Olympics Texas athlete for 22 years. My favorite sport is golf. Thank you for joining us today and showing your support for Special Olympics Texas. Like many organizations, this has been a tough year for us, and your donation today will go a long way to help us get back to our competitions. Thank you for any amount you can donate. We deeply appreciate your support.
Thank you, Adam. Adam's always great to talk to. He was featured in our last Breakfast of Champions event. He's talented out on the golf course and keeps getting better, which I love to hear. Okay, now we're going to meet two of our unified players, and it just so happens that they're brother and sister. Amanda and Oliver Barria Ojeda join me now wearing their Dynamo jerseys. Love this, by the way. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having us.
Tell me why let's start with this. Tell me why Special Olympics means so much to each of you. Amanda, I'll start with you.
Special Olympics to me has made me a complete different person. I feel like with having all the experiences I've had with volunteering and being on Unified Sports, I just have become a better person in general. And then it's brought me to know what I want to do in the future. I want to be a special needs teacher. I think that letting people know about this community is so awesome. So I want to bring that to others, just like it was brought to me.
Okay. Yeah. Oliver, what about you? What does this organization mean to you?
Well, I started doing Special Olympics in Alaska. Like my sister just said, I've been helping with the camp driver in Alaska. I've been a camper and I've been a volunteer.
Yeah.
A camp driver.
You guys work so well together. What can you say about this gentleman right here next to you? How much does he inspire you? How much have you learned about yourself, not just from him? I mean, the whole thing that you guys have been together doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's super strong. My mom, he's older than I am, so I didn't really know him as a kid, but my mom always tells me that when he was born and the doctors were like, he's not going to be able to walk, he's not going to be able to live an independent life and all these things, and you see him now, like he walks, he runs, he plays all the sports, a lot of sports, and it like makes me think that I can never say I can't do something, because if he's always had a smile on his face and is like, I'm going to try it till I can do it, then why am I going to be like, I can't, like I'm sorry, I would never be able to give up if he can't, you know?
Yeah, sure. When you hear her say stuff like that, what goes through your mind? I saw you had a smile on your face, out of the corner of my eye.
It makes me feel like I'm happy, I'm excited, and it feels me that she cares about me when I have events or I have a job.
You guys lived in Alaska for a long time. Okay, so kind of put this here in Houston. We cannot relate to that situation. Okay, so tell me about that experience, because that's where you got involved in Special Olympics and you kind of formed this interest. So what was that experience like living up there in Alaska?
I mean, for me personally, I grew up there, so it was the only thing I knew. So that was my normal. You know, being from the cold to the winter to summer not being really summer, but being like 60 degrees summer, you know. But over there, it was so much fun. It was such a small community, so you basically knew everyone.
So the change from Alaska to Houston is very big. 4 years ago, it happened for you guys. How has Special Olympics helped you get kind of immersed into that Katy community? Because you guys are part of the Katy Wolfpack.
Yeah, so when we lived in Alaska, we didn't know anything about Special Olympics till maybe 2 years after living there. And so when we came here, the first thing we looked for was Special Olympics and what teams there were. And so when we moved to Katy, we found out there was the Katy Wolfpack. And we fell in love with the team. We thought it was amazing. Coach Wolf and Miss Sandy, who are like the head people of Katy Wolfpack, have been the sweetest people. They've been so open to welcoming us and to welcoming other people, and it's just been the best thing.
For me, like go to the malls with my friends, going with my family.
Oliver doesn't like the cold.
Nope, I don't.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the cold. Although 62-degree summers, I'm not going to lie.
They were nice.
They sound a little nice, but not all the time, right? You don't want to do that all the time. You guys are wearing Dynamo jerseys. When you guys came down here and living in Houston, you guys got involved with the Dynamo, you played with the Dynamo program that the Special Olympics Texas has.
Yeah.
How cool is that? How fun was that? And that experience, it was an experience of a lifetime, I think.
It was super fun. We got to meet the players of the Dynamo team at the time, and then we got to travel with our team to play at like the stadiums. It was really cool. Like we went to Kansas City, and we've never been to Kansas in general before. So it was really cool. I had a lot of fun. I really liked it.
What did you think about playing with the Dynamo program?
It was nice. I met the goalkeeper in the Houston Dynamos.
Yeah.
Joe Willis, and he was nice. He cares, and he knew my sister and I.
What's your favorite sport to play?
Bowling and basketball right now.
Bowling and basketball. Okay. How good are you at bowling? Have you bowled? What's your highest score?
I bowled in my country and since high school in Alaska.
Oh wow! How is she at bowling? Is she good at bowling?
No.
She's not?
No.
What's her best sport? I'm gonna ask Cam. I'm not gonna. What's her best sport?
Right now, like we took her for hockey in Alaska.
Hockey? You think it's hockey?
Sure. I haven't played hockey in so long, but I enjoy soccer and volleyball mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a message to the folks that are watching this, what would you tell them?
To get involved. Even if you're scared or nervous about getting involved, or you don't know how to treat people with special needs, because a lot of people get nervous around them and stuff, I feel like the only way you're going to break that shell is to get involved. Getting involved is the only way that you'll be able to truly change your life, you know? Yeah. And I just think, just volunteer, play unified sports. Even if you're not the greatest, play on the unified sport, because it'll maybe make you better on the team, or you'll just make an impact on another person's life, and I think it's the best thing to do.
What can you tell people about Special Olympics? What does this group mean to you?
I'm going to say that be confident, don't be scared to do sports.
Just go out and do it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you for being here.
No, thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Good morning, I'm Shelby Day. I have been a Special Olympics Texas athlete for 10 years. I play basketball, golf, bowling, track and field, equestrian, and aquatics. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual Breakfast with Champions. Your support makes it possible for me and many of my friends to continue to do the things we love. And it's not just sports. Special Olympics helps open the doors for inclusion in so many other ways at school and throughout our communities. Please join our inclusion revolution by donating today. We deeply appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. She's full of energy every time we hear from her, so we appreciate everything that she is all about. So one of the big things about Special Olympics is the fact that they get so much support from our local law enforcement community. In fact, we call it the Law Enforcement Torch Run. One of the things that I mentioned at the beginning of this program was this Breakfast with Champions is so cool because we see the mix of law enforcement and Special Olympics parents and athletes. And our next guests, well, they pretty much involve all of that. A parent, law enforcement, an athlete, you name it, they're here with us right now. Constable Ted Heap from Precinct 5 and his son Andrew. Guys, how are you? Thanks for joining us today.
Doing great, Daniel. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for having us.
Andrew, I'm going to start with you. Why do you have so much fun being a part of this?
Wait, why does he always get to go first?
Well, I'm sorry. He's just better looking, actually. Go ahead. How much fun do you have being a part of this?
I have a lot of fun. I mean, everybody that I meet is so fun and friendly, and all the volunteers and coaches that we have that help us out, like get us ready and where to go when we need to be staged for competition and stuff. It's really, really a nice thing to have.
I've asked the other guests the same question. Dad, I'm going to ask you, what do you get out of seeing your son participate in such a great organization?
You know, I think unless somebody has walked the walk, it's a very difficult thing to explain. But as a parent of somebody with intellectual disabilities, you know, we go through life and we see the struggles, not that we have as parents necessarily, but that they go through as individuals. And to be able to bring them into a community, into a group where it's not only about friendship, but it's about competition. It's about building relationships. It's about bonds. It's about being accepted for who you are. And not only being accepted, but being challenged to reach your fullest potential. And that's really what Special Olympics is about.
Well, Andrew, you've got your Katie Wolfpack shirt on. You are number 27. Number 27 in Houston is a big deal. So, I mean, that's your number, so you got to be a big deal too, right?
Yes, sir.
What sports do you play? And just tell me how much fun you have playing those sports.
Well, I do swimming and I do soccer, but I also used to do basketball, track, and softball.
Dad, I wanted to ask you, look, you're a father, you're in law enforcement too, and I think that's one of the neatest things about Special Olympics, the relationship that law enforcement has with this group. Can you speak to that a little bit and why that's so special to you on that side of it?
Well, I think that people that are truly called to law enforcement, not people that are doing it as a job, but people that look at it as a vocation, as a calling, it's about service. And I think that when we have the opportunity to be able to serve our community in any capacity, it's something that gives us fulfillment. The relationship with Special Olympics and law enforcement, as you said, has been very long-standing. I have never seen, in my 36 years of law enforcement in Harris County, I've never seen something that motivates the officers like being involved with Special Olympics. Whether or not it's us doing the Tip a Cop program or our Top on Cop, where the cops are on top of the Dunkin' Donuts asking for, or whether or not it's the torch run. It really motivates the officers. They're more than willing to take their time off, to spend their comp time or vacation time or days off to be able to be involved in this. And I think it's because, as we say, in our profession, unfortunately, there's a lot of times where we're dealing with some of the more challenging side of humanity. And to be able to look and deal with individuals and have them accept us and us accept them for who they are is really very, very fulfilling. So it's probably what appeals to a lot of police officers that do this.
You guys participate together? Do you play with him sometimes? Does he beat you now? I mean, how's that relationship? Is it competitive?
I'm still his father. He'll never beat me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
With your dad being in law enforcement, you see it all the time, but to have other athletes experience that type of relationship with the athletes and law enforcement, how unique is that and how special is it for you?
It's really nice because the police really care about people with special needs. I mean, I think they give us a lot of enjoyment and encouragement, and they like to dance with us when it comes to having parties that sometimes that we have and stuff, and it gives everybody that has Special Olympics a great encouragement.
How's your dad as a dancer?
Really good.
No.
I feel like you guys went over that question beforehand.
Yeah. They know you're lying now. I would just say Special Olympics has made a tremendous difference in our life, and I think in Andrew's life. And I know that there are many, many athletes out there of all ages that are looking for this opportunity. It's something that Special Olympics Texas takes a lot of effort and a lot of coordinating to bring. Think about bringing thousands of athletes together with all of their special needs and being able to pull something off like a state games or a meet. All the volunteers, the Knights of Columbus, and all of your groups that come together and help cook and stuff. So it's a tremendous undertaking to be able to do that.
You should never give up on who you are or who inspires you to do Special Olympics or who tells you that you can do it no matter what other people think, or just to have fun and enjoy it while it lasts. And let's see, what else?
What is the motto for the oath for Special Olympics?
Let me win, but if I do not win, let me be brave in the attempt. That's our motto for Special Olympics.
Amen.
And I think that sums it up pretty accurately. Constable Heap, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good morning, I'm Christy Roberts, and I've been a Special Olympics Texas athlete for 11 years. My favorite sport is running track. Your participation with us today warms my heart. Your donations today will help us with equipment and uniforms and better training to help us improve every aspect of our lives. Special Olympics is so important to us for building confidence and self-esteem, and we truly appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. She and her family were one of the first I ever met in doing work with Special Olympics. She is tremendous, and yes, she's very fast on the track, so watch out if you ever see her on there. All right, like most of these stories that you're hearing, they're really, truly incredible. Our next guest fits in that category. His name is David Hernandez, and he is joining us right now. David, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Well, tell me about being a part of Special Olympics. I've started each of these interviews asking that simple question. What does Special Olympics mean to you?
It means friendship. It means making new friends and seeing old friends at the different competitions. And I've been involved in Special Olympics for like 45 years already. I started when I was in elementary school. My school teacher had a class participate in athletics, and a school principal did the banner, and she came out and watched the competition and made us feel proud. I like to go and just win or lose. It doesn't bother me. You know, I don't care if I win or lose.
What do the people in Special Olympics mean to you? Like, what have they done? How have they helped change your life?
They have. They've helped me through the years, like from when I started, and then like when I didn't talk till I was about maybe like 7 or 8 years old back then, and then I started talking more, and then I started learning to eat different foods back then when I was in school. I did softball, I did ice skate, I used to do ice skating, and I did snow skiing. I used to do softball, and I got to go to the international that was held in Baton Rouge at LSU in July of 1983. And I got to go to Eunice Kennedy Shriver's home, who was the founder of Special Olympics in September of 1985. That was up in Washington, D.C. And then we also got to go to Washington, D.C. a few years ago for Capitol Day, for funding with Special Olympics.
And it's obviously giving you confidence in playing sports, but you also have confidence away from sports too, right?
Right, and I do have confidence away from sports as well.
Because you work?
I'm working I retired in 2014 from Houston ISD, and then I started back again working for Fort Bend ISD in May of 2018.
You've been in Special Olympics a long time. What do you think about when you see the younger generations start getting involved, and when you see some of the younger kids get involved in Special Olympics?
It makes me feel how what I was doing when I was young back then, when I was when I started when I was 11, and it makes me feel how old I was back then.
What would be your message then to those athletes that you want to get across, the ones that are just starting up?
I would like to see them come and see us as athletes, what we do, and get involved.
Because you're successful, right? You've been successful because it's okay. You can brag about how many things you've won. So how many medals is it now?
Over 200 medals.
200 medals. Do you have a room big enough at the house that fits all that, or?
I have them all around the house.
Oh, you got them all around the house. That's good. All right.
Yes.
Now, David, thank you so much for joining me, and you are a true inspiration.
Well, thank you so much, please, for having me. being interviewed this morning.
Of course, you hit a home run, by the way. It was great.
Oh, great.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Hamill, and I've been Special Olympics Texas athlete for 36 years. My favorite sport is golf, but I also have four jobs, so I am a pretty busy guy. I've also traveled around the world to play golf for Special Olympics, and there is no greater joy than to represent my state and country for Special Olympics. Thank you for being here today to hear what about Special Olympics Texas means to us. Please donate if you can. We deeply appreciate your support.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, I know you're a busy guy, but the folks at home watching this now are busy too. So we want to thank you for taking just a little bit of time to watch this special presentation to show you just how much these Special Olympics athletes appreciate your support. Look, times are strange. We would like to be there with you in person. I talked about this at the beginning. Our Breakfast of Champions events are awesome. The interactions with the athletes, the law enforcement officials, everybody being in the same room, enjoying all these stories, enjoying all this passion that they have for this organization is important. But you know what? With the times changing, we need to change too. As they say, the show must go on, the sports programs must go on, and your help today and your help in the future, hopefully, I'm throwing that out there, not just today, in the future as well, will continue the excellence of Special Olympics for many, many years to come. If you haven't done it yet, spread the word, donate now. I'm going to ask one more time, donate now for Special Olympics. But we appreciate you joining us here for this virtual Breakfast of Champions. I've been Daniel Gotera, and for Special Olympics Texas and all the members of this organization, we want to say thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for joining us this morning. Have a great day.
Let me win.
But if I cannot win,
Let me be brave.
In the attempt